Let's do a toasty makeup look with Timeless Beauty and Friends. Keep watching. I actually went to Ulta. I needed some new stuff, and specifically brushes. I got some new eyeshadow brushes because my last ones looked like I was chewing on them. So starting out, I'm actually going to use the M331 eye blender. This is tapered, and I'm actually going to start off with my deep shades because I want to work on my outer corners first. I'm going to take Lucky One right here because I love how toasty it looks. So with the lightest hand, I'm actually going to take it and go right across where my tape is on the outer corner of my eye and slightly bring it in at an angle. And the key to a good smoked out look is keeping a very light as feather hand, okay? So I'm gonna go into my best acid down here, and I'm actually going to make a nice smoked out wing with some eyeshadow with the M363 eyeliner brush. Okay, so I could set the base here, but I'm actually not going to because Beauty Bakery actually sent me something from their newest collection. It's their Sugar and Spice liquid eyeshadow, and I'm specifically going to use nutmeg and cinnamon. I'm going to use cinnamon first because cinnamon is actually the darkest shade, and I want to put that like right here. So what the directions says too is that they are very workable while wet, so you might want to hurry up and blend them out while they're wet because once they're dried down, they are set. Now I'm going to go in with nutmeg on the inner corner of my eye. And because I actually like the way the inner corners of my eye look right now, I'm actually going to go into the same color eyeshadow pigment in the same palette. The eyes are semi-done. I'm actually going to put my lashes on off camera, and then we're going to get into this toasty base routine, okay? Because that's actually the gobbledygook of it all. All right, so now that we have our lashes on, let's go ahead and prep and prime, because if you're not prepping and priming in 2025, you're delusional. Delusional. I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. matte power grip primer, and I love this because I'm a very oily skin girly and I'm looking like I got slapped with bacon grease. Now most people don't know that you're actually supposed to activate this primer, so you're supposed to put it all over your skin, and then once you worked it in like that, you're supposed to press it in, and that's what really activates that grip. All right, now that we've worked that in, I'm actually going to go in with my Timeless Beauty Skin Perfect Soft Matte Foundation. I am in the shade Ebony Elegance, and I'm actually going to go ahead and bronze. However, the bronzer that I'm going to be using is not actually a bronzer. It's my foundation too. I'm actually going to go in with Rich Cocoa because I really want that deep, warm, sexy, toasted brown. And I feel like the bronzer that I currently have isn't going to give me that. My foundations go a long way, maybe about a pump and a half on each side of your face. I guess that equals 2 pumps, right? A pump and a half on each face. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and melt this into our skin. This shade can be found in the deep group, so if we are shade twins, I just want you to know your shade is Ebony Elegance in the deep group in my foundation line. And yes, I'm gonna go ahead and take this all the way up onto my mommy bags because we're not. She's tea, honey. Tea. Now for the bronzer part. So like I said, I'm actually going to go back in with my foundation again, but this one is in the shade Rich Cocoa, and I'm not going to put this directly on my face. I'm actually going to pump her on the back of my hand, and like I said, I really want a toasted look, so I'm going to use a lot. And I'm going to take this brush. I don't really know what kind of brush, but it's a brush, and I'm going to douse her in it, and we're going to start with this forehead of mine, because she's big and beautiful and we need her to be popping. Do y'all see that? That's what I mean by when I say I wanted a nice and toasted look for this. And that's what I love about my foundations. I feel like they're a good multi-use foundation. I've actually done a full face using only my foundations, and I found that I actually really, really like the finish a lot. My makeup lasted all day, so I'm not mad. All right, so now that we have our face bronzed up, and she is bronzed, I'm actually going to go ahead and go in with my blush next. So I use 2 different blushes. Most girlies know what blush I'm probably going to pick up already because I feel like I've seen every single girl have this one. This is the e.l.f. Camo blush. She's almost out. This one's in the shade Pinky Promise, but I'm also going to go in with my ColourPop blush. This one's in the shade Wildest Dreams. So how I like to apply my blush is I like to take my lightest shade down here. And yes, I go heavy-handed because I don't have blush blindness. I just really, really love blush. And this one in the front, Pinky Promise, she's very, very light once you blend her out. So you gotta go heavy-handed. However, this ColourPop girly back here, no. You only need maybe a dot or 2. She's juicy. So now I'm gonna take my beat up setting brush because she's my girl, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna blend her under my eye. I just go ahead and do this already. I've been doing this for a while. I don't know if you guys remember that trend a while ago, and forgive me if I butcher her name, but I remember like Nasra or something like that. She had did like this under eye like trend where she was just putting all types of pigments under her eye, purples, pinks, blues. Like, she had really set the tone for these looks. And Henny, she was the reason why I really started doing that. And then also another trend had came out where it's a part of makeup underpainting too, yes, but it was pretty much like putting the blush under your eyes already. So it was like you do your concealer, a dot. I'm lying. So it was like a dot of concealer, that's like the brightest one. Then you go in with your base concealer that you would normally use before you blend it out. And then you will go ahead and then you will put your blushes right behind that. And then you will literally blend it all together. I had started doing that maybe like 22. I had started doing it then, and I fell in love with how it looked. And then Pat McGrath actually brought it back up again with the whole pink blush under eye look. And I love how history, even with makeup, repeats itself. So honestly, the blush under the eye thing never left. It's not really new either. It's been around. I think the girls are just now catching on though, but it eats down every single time. And then I like to take mine up and lift it because, baby, I need my face snatched. Do you see that? It looks like it's too much. It looks like it, but chill out on me. It's not too much. It's not too much. You're doing too much. Next, concealer. So I'm gonna go into my Bobbi Brown concealer. This one's in the shade, oh, golden, huh? And I don't like to bring it too far out either. Honestly, I like to just take whatever, like right here underneath my eyes, and then I'll just blend it out where I want it. Before, I used to do the most and have it up here, up here. I keep it real simple. And I actually stopped doing my top lip because, baby girl, I sweat on my top lip. And to sweat and have makeup up there, it just looks cakey. It's not it. And while I'm at it, I'm actually going to go back into the Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer in the shade 22.5 because I also use this to brighten my under eye. I like a bright under eye. I don't care. However, I don't really care for the one where when you take a picture, it gives you a little bit of flashback. I don't like it. I don't like that. For the other girls that do it and look popping, you look fire. For me, no. So remember how I told you went to Ulta? We back in that bag. We back in that bag. So before I blend out my concealers, I haven't been doing this in a while because I haven't really gave an in-depth tutorial. Spray that face, honey. Spray it down. Drown yourself. And I mean drown yourself. Yes, I was one of those people that if you sat in my chair as a client, you know the tidal wave was coming. Yes, I'm gonna drown you. Mind you, I'm using the Milani Cosmetics Make It Last setting spray. And we're going to let her dry down just a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. Back in with that setting brush, and we're going to go ahead and tackle the edges. And I normally be having this thing all the way up here, so you know what? Let me go ahead and go do that. I might look a little crazy, but it's okay. All right, now that our base is on, it's time to set. I'm actually going to zoom through this. If you want to know the products that I use to set, I'm going to flash them across the screen, but I'm also going to tag them in the description. Now, this is the part that actually really matters. So to get that toasty look, your bronzer, you need to bronze to the Lord. You need to look like you just got off a beach in Maui. You need to look like you was literally in a toaster oven. And when I'm talking toasty, you need to be toasty, like level 3 toasty in a toaster. Now for my blush, I'm actually going to go into 2 different ones. I'm going to go into a oldie but goodie Juvia's Place. And I'm also going to go into one called Pinch Cheek Trio by Didi Signature. That middle shade that I just showed you guys, I'm actually going to go into the middle shade that I just showed you guys. This one's called Tangerine. And I like to start by putting that directly above the ball of my cheek, slightly under my eye, and fanning it outwards and slightly mixing it into my powder foundation. If it looks like it's a little bit too much, don't worry. I'm about to teach y'all a trick if you don't already know it. So the trick is once you put your blush on and you feel like it's a bit too much, that's okay. Go back into that setting spray because honestly, you should be spraying your face at least three at the most when you're doing your makeup. We want everything to be seamless. And you're gonna go back in with that foundation brush or the sponge that you may have used. And then you're gonna go back in with the brush that you use or the sponge that you use that has your current foundation on it. And you're gonna use this and tap it lightly. Doing this will not only blend everything back together seamlessly, but it will tone down any unwanted shades that you have on your face. So let's just say you have too much bronzer on and you wanna tone that down. Take this brush and lightly tap over everything. So for that extra toasty look, I actually went back into the ColourPop palette, into Your Solid, and I went ahead and I smoked out my lash line. Now moving on to the final step. So back in the bag we go. I actually saw Aaliyah J do this with a cool lip liner, and I wanted to try it out. So I actually went to Ulta with the prime mission of actually getting this lip liner. And this lip liner is in the shade Rock Steady, and it's actually a cool brown. And I wanted to test my girl's theory about getting that perfect nude lip with a cool tone lip liner and a cool tone lipstick. So this is literally going to be a first impression. So as you can see, my lips are nice and moisturized. Let me come a little bit closer to the camera, and let's go ahead and see. Don't clock my nails. I need to get them done. Now for my lipstick, I'm going to go into MAC, and this is the Creme de Nude Lippy. Now, the only thing about this lippy, it is a little warm, but I feel like it will work perfect with my lip. Okay, I'm not mad at this. The It Girl always knows what she's talking about when it comes to makeup. So now I'm gonna go into the Lawless Beauty Forget the Filler lip gloss. Oh my gosh, when they sent me these, I was through the moon. And mind you, I've had these for a long time, and they gave me a lot of them. But Daisy Pink has always been my favorite. So this is my take on the current trending makeup look, the toasty makeup look. Let me know if you really like this look. Let me know if you like the voiceovers. Let me know if you like me talking to the camera, because your girl's a little camera shy, but when I be getting into it, and it's like I'm talking to my homegirl. Anyway, but if you love this look, please like it, share it, give me a nice little comment, and let me know what else you want to see. I appreciate you guys for watching. Bye.